The extraordinary consequence, not only for Harvard University, but also for the very notion of academic freedom and international scholarship in the United States, is what we're looking at with Hump's threat to international students enrolling in Harvard. It's a very similar threat to the sort of rubbish peddled by Theresa May and indeed by the present British government, again, on foreign students. And one of the reasons foreign students receive uh, such a spotlight is because they're so well documented and it's easy to entrap them. Partly because they're already committed to staying in whichever university they've elected to join. So send them away, threaten them, because they'll be back. It's a win-win situation. It's cheap and it's immoral and it's politically inept. But why would one think for 1 minute that Trump wouldn't go down that route? It sort of sums him up. Yesterday, the Trump administration, through the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, revoked Harvard's certification to host international students. And the move, couched in language about national security and anti-Semitism, was met with a federal restraining order this morning. But legal wrangling aside, the message has been clear. Under Trump's second term, American universities are no longer insulated from ideological compliance. And the policy is dramatic. Harvard can no longer enroll foreign students. Those already enrolled must transfer or risk deportation. Over 6,800 students are affected, including Britons, Chinese nationals, and the future Queen of Belgium. The immediate impact is chaos. Students fear invalidation, disrupted degrees, and the erasure of their academic future. Harvard itself faces the loss of a quarter of its student body and the reputational unravelling of its global prestige. Kirsty Noem claims the university harbours pro-terrorist agitators, collaborates with the Chinese Communist Party, and fosters an unsafe environment for Jewish students. These are explosive charges made without due process or nuance. Why would we be surprised at that? This is something that comes from the underpants of Trump. It's true that Jewish students at Harvard have suffered appalling intimidation since October the 7th. An internal report found that nearly 60% of Jewish students in Harvard had encountered discrimination or bias. 1 in 4 felt physically unsafe. Posters of Israeli hostages were defaced. Anti-Semitic slogans appeared in protest graffiti. Many students chose to conceal their identity or abandon their place altogether. But this raises a profound question. Should a government punish a university with collective sanctions for failing to manage a campus culture, or should it work with that institution to uphold the rights of all students? The Trump administration has chosen reprisal over repair. This isn't a targeted defense of Jewish students. Trump doesn't defend anybody. Trump looks for a challenge, an opportunity to make a headline and a few bucks. This is an ideological assault. Harvard has already dismissed leadership from its Middle Eastern Studies department under political pressure. It's faced a $2.2 billion funding freeze. It's declined to alter its curriculum, its hiring, or its admissions under federal duress. In other words, it's refused to bend and now it's being broken. This isn't safeguarding, this is scapegoating. Trump is not only targeting Harvard, Columbia University is also under investigation. Visa restrictions are tightening across the Ivy League. And who is collateral damage? International students who had nothing to do with any protests. Researchers who are now cancelling experiments. Families who cannot return to regimes from which they fled. There's also a wider global undercurrent. A significant number of Harvard's international students are from China, and Trump's administration cites fears of espionage, military-linked research, and Communist Party influence. But this is not new. The first term saw the infamous China Initiative, a Red Scare, reborn, and just as indiscriminate. If there are allegations to be made, they should be made against individuals, not against group. Making allegations against a group based on that group's identity is what? Racism? The result here, a reverse brain drain. Chinese scholars are returning home. Australians and Britons are abandoning plans to work in the US. Promising careers are being rerouted to Brussels, Oxford, and Toronto. This is not security, this is national self-harm. And yet in China, the state media crows with glee, let them destroy their own strength. They may have a point. This episode is not about whether Harvard has acted perfectly, far from it. The university's DEI framework has proved incapable of shielding Jewish students from genuine harm. But Trump's response is a sledgehammer to an already fragile ecosystem. And Harvard is not flawless, but it is foundational. Its international students are not agitators, they're ambassadors of the American promise. And if this ban holds, it will not be the radicals who are punished, but the innocent, the curious, the gifted, those who came to learn, not to fight ideological battles they didn't start. The courts may yet reverse this ban permanently, but the damage to confidence, to liberty, to the idea of the university as a sanctuary of thought is already underway. And who knows how this will be copied and rolled out elsewhere around the globe.